Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Lawrence joining us, which is a real estate investor. So Lawrence, tell us, what are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs should be doing out there to achieve the first million?
Well, Harry, thank you so much for having me. And this is something I'm so passionate about. I love the life of an entrepreneur. And I think these 5 steps sum up my life philosophy, I guess. So the first one would be to invest in yourself. And what I mean by that is if you want to have energy, then you want to be healthy. So I think you should make certain daily habits would be to eat as well as you can, don't drink too much alcohol, and exercise every day. I really believe that. Healthy body, healthy mind, and you need a healthy mind to fulfill your potential as an entrepreneur. So that's the first one. Second one, I think you should make sure your mission is aligned with your passion. So if you're doing something that is just for the paycheck or just to try and make money, but you don't have any passion behind it, as soon as you have hard times, tough times, it's going to be really hard to follow through. But if you're really passionate about something, you're going to be able to overcome challenges. And I think anyone to get to that first million, you're going to have some challenges. So that would be the second thing. Make sure you have some passion behind your mission. The third thing, I'm very passionate about this, is invest in relationships. And there's a saying in real estate, I think it applies to so many different things. Your network is your net worth. And I think people that are successful financially, not only can they inspire you, but they can also give you the blueprint, and you can come to them with problems, and you can find mentors and colleagues and peers that are aligned on the same mission. So that would be the third thing. The fourth thing is to have a long-term time horizon. I think we live in an age where with social media and with a lot of things, we want the instant gratification. And I think any things that I'm proud of took a bit of time. If it's easy to get, you're probably not going to value it too much. And I think as an entrepreneur, making that first million is a huge milestone. So I think we should try to have a long-term time horizon and don't be too impatient. And that kind of leads on to the last thing, which is enjoy the journey, Harry. Because I think too many times I'm 45 now. When I was younger, it was always about what's next. Every time I achieved something, I was thinking about the next thing. I didn't really enjoy the journey. And then I thought about it and I thought, man, I'm 45, if I get everything in the next 25 years, everything I want in life, am I going to wait till I'm 70 to be happy? Like, no, you have to enjoy the journey. You have to have the confidence that you're moving to where you want to go, and enjoy every day knowing you're going to get there or do your best to get there, because we can't wait for success to be happy. So I think I think that's so important. And that kind of comes down to the longevity thing. If you don't enjoy what you're doing every day, it's going to be hard for you to do it for years and years that you need to achieve great success. So I
What's
think
the point to make a million in the first place?
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. Well, we do this to be happy, right?
Yeah. But I've been there, done it. Yeah, I resonate 100% exactly. My first business was actually in real estate. In London, we managed to save 5 million. And but I remember I was young back then. I even have hair, so imagine how long it was, 15, 17 years ago. But I like your first step a lot. Tell you why, because when I was building my first business, the property one, at the beginning, I'm in this state that I need to make this to work, and I'm doing everything. I'm working, back then I used to work in the Hilton as a room service attendant in London, because I went from Spain to London to learn English, so I didn't have any clue of English. So my first job in UK, I was in the pub, but the second one was in the room service in the Hilton, which I was taking that was my job, and I was building the property business parallel to that. So that process got me really, really exhausted. I remember to wake up with the computer in my lap, and I remember that my lifestyle, this is how it was. I wake up and I start to work. We're going to go to the Hilton, work, and then come back home, work. And then I was eating only one time a day at the worst possible time, which is in the evening when I was so tired. I'm so hungry. We're talking about 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Then I will order
Oh,
food, nothing cooking. I will order from, there were two restaurants, one Chinese, one India, close to our house. And I remember I would follow, they knew already what I want because I was following the menu by the numbers. Yeah. So they say,
yeah.
okay, have you ordered 23 today? Tomorrow is going to order 24. And then the Indian restaurant, the same thing. So I didn't even, I just call, I said, I'm Harry. They hang on the phone. They already know what food to bring me.
Yes.
That's how the thing was. Yeah. I have money. I can pay for the food to come and everything. I don't need to cook. But the reason it was very unhealthy. Yeah. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was angry. And yeah, making, the business making money, it's growing really fast and everything, but I was not good. I didn't have time to see my friends or to see anybody, honestly, when I was building, not even go out. Yeah. On to the point that I went one day to Piccadilly Circus because of a meeting or something, and I'm like, wow, I live in London. I haven't been here in Piccadilly Circus at least for 2 years, and it's just very
Right
close.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's how immersed I was in the thing. I didn't have the knowledge and I didn't have the experience. That's exactly what you share. When you said, look, you have to be mentally healthy because honestly, I was trying to work out for 12 hours, 14 hours, yeah. But I was so tired and so exhausted that maybe I'm cheating my break that I'm working out that many hours. But effectively, I don't think I was working more than 8. The rest it was concerns, worry, tiredness, and things like that. So how you're 45, you're very young, yeah? I'm 47. I'm gonna go to 48. But so when do you realize that, okay, hold on, what I'm really doing here and what is really my purpose? Do you have a major setback? Do you have an illness? Do you have a friend that told you what? Because for me, I realized I had to work on myself because, the whole thing was getting deteriorated. I end up overweight. Even now, I'm a little bit chubby, So even I'm recuperating from that, right? So when do you decide? Because it's very interesting, your first step, and everybody want to make money, everybody to make millions, everyone to be a millionaire, everyone to. But if you do that and you don't take care of yourself, not only your body but also your relationships, spend time with your parents, spend time with your family, spend time with friends and everything, you arrive to the point that you're going to have a huge mental health issue, right?
Yes. I think that's the hardest thing we have, Harry, as entrepreneurs is I look at my dad. My dad was a pilot. So he would be
Wow.
gone for a few days and I would miss him. I remember being a kid thinking, oh, 3 days, my dad will be back. But then when he was back for 3 days. He had no cell phone. No one's calling him at work. He was morning to night, just free. He had no work stress. He could make us breakfast, take us to school, do his own thing, pick us up from school, hang out with us. So that was so easy for him to have the clear work-life balance. And then you think about entrepreneurs, like you mentioned, I caught from one thing you said is you're falling asleep with your laptop on your lap. It's so difficult because you have to decide, am I gonna get as much business as I can at the expense of things like health and family, or am I going to try to balance it? And a lot of people, they're going to want to try and balance it. And then it's inevitably that the word balance is such an interesting word because if you think about a surfer surfing a wave, he's balanced at that moment, but he has to keep moving, otherwise he's going to fall in. So I think balance, it's a constant thing. We have to keep recalibrating and we have to keep asking what is important in life. And so for me, I realized at a pretty young age that there's certain non-negotiables that I want to have in every day. And one of them I've been doing for a long time is I want to get some time for myself. That's normally exercise. And now I'm a dad. I have a 4-year-old. It's
Wow.
it's trying to prioritize time with him. So I'm not gonna if there's an hour of daylight left, my work has to wait. We're gonna go to the park for an hour. Then when it gets dark, I'll get back to the work. So I try to make my work fit in around everything else. And listen, it's not always possible. You know, there's certain times where there's emergencies and crises and difficult clients, and you can't always do it, but that's the way I strive to try to make my routine work for me, my daily routine. Because I think when you look back at your life, Harry, I think it's if you can have these big goals and dreams in the future, the path to get you there is doing those little things daily, you know, every day. And then the days become weeks, become months, and the years become, you know, stacked on top of each other. You can achieve so much. But really, it's all broken down into daily habits, doing the right things. So some of those things I talked about, nurturing relationships, you know, reach out to people that you want in your life in 5 years. You have to put the time in now to make the effort. You have to make the effort. You know, if you're I'm not the most extroverted person, I'm not the most introverted person, so it's okay for me to be social and maintain relationships. But I have friends that are very successful financially, but they're very introverted, so they don't really make the effort. And over time, as you get older, if you don't maintain friendships, you're going to lose friendships. And we're seeing that there's a big thing right now that a lot of people are talking about in the health space, that you can't wait until a lot of men, women are much better at maintaining relationships, but a lot of men, they have their family, they have their work, they see people at work, they don't really nurture relationships, and then they retire, and suddenly they have no friends, and there's this epidemic of loneliness, you know. So like you have to maintain friendships, you know, when you're younger, so that you have those friendships when you're older. And I think that's actually a real challenge for people that are more introverted, because I see that with a lot of people around me.
So now let's talk about creating wealth, right? Because
Yes.
a lot of curiously, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 people out of the 500 plus entrepreneurs that we have interviewed so far in this podcast on Unstoppable 5 Steps to Make the First Million, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 are either real estate investors or tech entrepreneurs. And I think that people maybe might have the misconception, that become a multimillionaire in real estate or in tech is easy. So what message do you have for this, for the young entrepreneurs that want to become wealthy? You talk about instant gratification, that want to become wealthy really fast. Now they see this podcast and they might think like, wow, you know, this guy is property millionaire and whatever, I'm gonna do this, and they might get maybe the wrong impression, because in the end of the day, it's a business like any other business. And
Yes.
I'm hearing your story because we only in this podcast only comment the success story, but we're never gonna hear about the people that fail. We're gonna never gonna hear about someone that invests in a property and lost of the money and never can come back, because when you make mistake in property, it's about 50, 60, could be 100,000, and sometimes people can never go back again. So what message do you have for the young generation that want to become wealthy and they have this instant gratification mentality? What it really is, that really that easy become wealthy in real estate?
I remember when I was a teenager, and I heard this interview with this young man, and he said it always takes twice as long to make half as much money as you hoped. And I
Yeah,
think that's it's an accurate description in some ways. We
absolutely.
also live in a time where I think last year, I think the most millionaires were made in the crypto space. And crypto, by definition, is very high risk, high volatility, but also high reward. So I think you have to decide, if you're willing to risk it all, then you might be able to make money fairly quickly. But for me, I don't think I think the surer way is to be a bit more patient. And just talking about failures, I think failures are so interesting, because the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, said, you know, I've missed more shots than most players will take in a career. He bragged about missing 10,000 shots because he was the one to step up and take it, to take the penalty shot. So it's if you're putting yourself out there, by definition, you're going to fail more than people that don't put themselves out there. And I've had a very interesting life arc, because in my 20s I became a millionaire through trading. I was a derivatives trader in Chicago. Then
Well,
I basically made all the mistakes you can make through 2009, the stock market crash. I was a young guy. I was living like a playboy, spending all this money, and I basically lost almost everything, or
Oh,
spent and
wow.
lost almost everything. Then I changed careers into real estate, built myself back up to be successful. And then again, I was partnered with a developer. And when COVID hit, we had 9 projects going on, 9 multi-unit
Oh
building
my
developments.
God.
And he basically
They all
used that.
stop at the same time, right?
Yep, yep. We had all these problems. He used it to basically screw me over. He declared bankruptcy, and I lost about $1 million. So then now this is the third time now I'm rebuilding. Now I'm doing real estate. So it's easy to see people that they live a certain lifestyle. You know, my wife and my son were just in Italy a couple of last month having a lovely time. They see me traveling and enjoying life, and it's easy for them to look at that and say, oh, it's okay for him. You know, he's figured out, he's made money. But if you look at my net worth, it's gone up, down, and now it's back up. So you always have time to make money, but if that's why you have to invest in the things we talked about, your health, healthy body, healthy mind, good relationships, a good mindset. You know, I love the name of your podcast, Unstoppable, because that's what you want to become. You want to become mentally strong, so you're mentally unstoppable. So I think the advice I'd give someone young is this is something I just realized for myself last year, and I wish I'd known this. I wish someone had told me this. Don't be too impatient to have too much success, because humans are not happiest. We're not happiest where we are relatively. Humans are happiest when we're improving. So I realized with my own life, because imagine me, I go from a 22-year-old just finished college to I'm 29, I'm single, I live in Chicago, I'm a playboy, I've got several $1 million in the bank. I work for myself, I have freedom, I travel the world, I pick up
The
my friend,
king
hey,
of the
you want to go
world.
to, yeah, exactly, you want to go on a trip tomorrow morning, I'll buy you a ticket, let's go. We were just enjoying life like that. I had so much success in my 20s that my 30s were a real come down, because I blew through all the money, I changed career, which was humbling. I suddenly was used to being up here, and now I'm down here building the way up. And I realized that it's not always good for your long-term life trajectory to have too much success too quickly. So I want right now, of course, I have my goals and my dreams, but I want to try to stretch them out. I don't want all the success tomorrow, because then next week I'm gonna have to have, you know, insane levels of success to compare to what I got yesterday, you know. So that's the thing, is we always judge our happiness on whether we're progressing. So I would tell everyone, if when we talked about the five things that are important, the one I mentioned about passion, if you're passionate about what you're doing, then you get some enjoyment from doing it. It's not just about the monetary sense. If you're just doing something purely for money that you hate, which I've done in my life many times, it's not fun. Even if you make the money, it's not fun. So if you can try to be a bit patient, because I think 2 things to emphasize is, one, the quicker you can make the money, the more volatility you have. And crypto is a good example. Like, if you have the big upside, you have the big downside. So you have to decide, is that for you? Do you want to be more volatile, or do you want to do something that you invest in yourself, you do something you enjoy, you learn something that people will pay you for that skill? And I think that's the key difference. It's not how can I make money? It's how can I provide something that is valuable to other people that I'll get paid for, and then I'll get a lifetime of income for that.
And then, Lawrence, I'm glad that you're talking on this point, because a lot of people talk about how to deal with failure, yeah, but nobody talk about how to deal with success, yeah. And
Yes.
you know, when I have this is true story, I have my real estate business. We were it was selling very good, it was making money. And then like I said, one day I go to the office and my employees told me, Harry, go home, we don't need you. I'm like, what? You don't need paper in the photocopy? So my employees sent me home and said,
Wow.
we don't need you here, we run this without you, don't come here anymore, you don't have to. So there I was, sitting in my house with making a lot of money and without working. And I don't know, rather than take a plane and travel the world, or rather than invest, you know, and buy some property, which was something that I knew very well, because I was in the space. We were doing a strategy, the name is rent to rent. So we were renting property, fix them up, and after renting by room. So it was a no money down and a lot of cash flow.
Yes.
It was crazy, right? And I managed to to create that culture in the team that that they have. They made the company. I didn't make the company about me. I made the company about them.
Yes.
So they are so empowered that now they sending me home. They said, "Go home. We don't need you." But rather than do that, I remember, and we're talking about having success so quickly. Guess what happened? Because I was bored, literally bored. I went to Brick Lane in London and I decided to open a restaurant, a Spanish restaurant. I call it Harry Spanish Tapas. Even the name is wrong because, if you have a Spanish restaurant, you can call it Pepe or Lola. Yeah. But, I have big ego back then. I was young. So I'm going to put the Spanish name, a name that is not even Spanish. So you can imagine the disaster. I lost 200,000 pounds and 2 years of my life going Monday to Sunday to this place that actually never worked. Was a total disaster. I lost my ex-girlfriend back then when I closed the restaurant. My property business, I had to look at attention because now Airbnb on technology is advancing, so now the margins are squeezing. I'm inside this restaurant, and my other business that runs in autopilot is making profit. I didn't check not even the number because I was busy trying to make this restaurant work, and the other business is also taking a hit. And it was tough. It was painful. How we can call it, I self-sabotage myself.
Yes. But Harry, can I ask you
Yes.
now, when you look back at that period many years later, is there some things that you're great? I know it sounds awful. Like
I'm
2 years,
grateful.
you lost all the money, you lost your ex-girlfriend.
I can tell you, I'm
So
so
can
grateful that this happened to me, and trust me, it was painful. But let me tell you the good thing about it. Number one, I'm making back. So sometimes people, I'm listening to you that you lost 1 million. Some people lost 1 million, like you, they jump out of the bridge.
yes.
On the other hand, you same, like me, you have this comment and said, okay, this happened. You know what? I'll make it again. I've done it before.
Yes.
I know that I make it again. This is, because you could be, if you with the wrong mindset of this never happened to you before, you could be in this negative mindset, in the hate, and then you decide to hire lawyers, and now you're losing more money. And you know what happened? Is your family, your son, everybody who's gonna drag into all this negativity.
Yes.
But because you have this self-confidence that you got lucky, that you got successful very young, and you lost everything, and now you have to make your way up, and now something happened again. You have this calm that that your family will be safe, because it doesn't matter if tomorrow you lose everything. You know that after a year, you will be a millionaire again. So it's already built in your confidence, in your mindset. Yeah. So this is my biggest lesson that I learned from that failure, because I couldn't believe, but after 2 years, I was okay again. Our business was making money. I paid back all the whatever I had to pay, and things go back to normal. The second,
Harry, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, can I just say, so that's such a, I'm really glad you said that. You said, people jump off bridges when they lose money, and it's so true. If you look at the 1929 stock market crash, the number of people that didn't come home to their families because they killed themselves because they couldn't bear to keep living without money. And it's so, I'm so glad you said that. So anyone that's listening that's going through a really tough time, it's so hard to imagine, but I promise you, if you keep going, you'll look back at that period, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you'll be grateful it happened. And it sounds so crazy, but I'm actually really grateful, because this guy that screwed me over and stole all this money, it forced me to grow and to expand my mindset and dream bigger and have bigger goals. And also through the period, I met really great partners that I'm doing projects with right now, who I'm aligned with. So it's so hard to see.
You can make 10 times more.
Yes. But also, Harry, even when I'm grateful, I always think, if I hadn't been so irresponsible when I was wealthy in my 20s, imagine I just put a couple of $1,000 in Bitcoin. I'd be worth $500 million right now. But if that had happened,
you were in party chasing it, same like me.
Yes, Harry, but you know what? And if I had done that, I always think about this. I'm so happy. I love my family. if I did that, I wouldn't have my family because I'd still be living like an idiot. I'd probably be traveling like a playboy, chasing
Absolutely.
girls. So it's like, and also changing careers forced me to grow and do and face discomfort and grow as a person. And like you said, get that unstoppable mindset where you know you're always going to be okay. And I think that is invaluable because when we look at, imagine you and I, we're on our deathbed. We're hopefully very, very old. We've had a wonderful life. We've got grandkids around. Everything's been wonderful. When you look back at your life, you're going to be proud of the things you overcame that were hard. Just like it right now, I think both of us, the things we're most proud of were the things that took hard work to get to. And I think everything came to us easy, or we were from a rich family and we inherited millions of dollars and we never had to work. That's not a good life. I really don't believe that. And now with my son, I think about, imagine I'd never overcome difficulty. How am I going to give him advice when he goes
Absolutely.
through difficulty? So I think that's such a, people don't talk about that much, but I think it's such an important lesson that it's so hard to imagine. But when you're going through the absolute worst times in your life, sometimes you're grateful in the future for that experience. And it's so hard to imagine, but I can say twice now for me, I can say that's true.
Yeah, but Lawrence, my question, because I remember my own experience was hard, was, oh my God, that it wasn't what I cried very little in my life. I remember the
Mm.
day that I closed this restaurant, I cried. I said, oh my God,
Yes.
what a big mess I had done for myself for free, for nothing. And everything fell down. Everything. The day that I closed the restaurant, my girlfriend that I had at the time left me. I already lost most of my friends because I'm working in this place Monday to Sunday. I haven't nurtured the
Yes.
relationship with my friends. So here I was again all alone, trying to rebuild the property business that took a hit because of that, and I had to start all over again. So where do you find Lawrence the strength after credit card, which is something that had nothing to do with you?
Hmm.
You were living your life, you were having your millions in your bank account, you are young, you are in a party, you're living the life, and something that have nothing to do with you, which is the stock market, goes
Yeah.
there and overnight wipe out everything, and now you need to start all over again. So where do you find the strength? Like we said, a lot of people,
Mm.
kill themselves and things like that. So where do you find the strength that, hey, you know what, this happened to me, but I'm gonna go for it again. I'm gonna rebuild myself. So do you read any book? Do you talk with anybody?
Yes.
Where do you find this inspiration? Because I know I've been there, and when you are
Mm.
in that moment, I mean, it's really painful, and you have to have a lot of
Yes.
strength because that will come to your mind that
Yes.
I want to kill myself. Do you understand that will pass through in that moment more than one, and you have to have mentally strong to think that this is crazy and to have this self-confidence that, okay, whatever I'm gonna do, I make millions first time, you know what? I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it
Mm.
again. And then you end up in real estate, have nothing to do what you were doing before. So where do you
Yeah.
find this strength?
So, Harry, I really feel for you, and I can imagine how that felt making that decision to close after you've sacrificed so much, not just the money, but the time and the effort and the sacrificed
Absolutely.
friendships and ex-girlfriends. So I really feel for you. And I remember that there was definitely some dark times in the immediate aftermath of all my failures. And I think so you have to remember if you do the right things, you will get over the pain. But so for me, the right things is if I keep forcing myself, I don't want to, I have no energy, my mind is in a bad place. But if I force myself to exercise, that's always a
Mm-hmm.
good thing to kind of reset my mind. And then in terms of and try to be around some good friends and just be around positive people that believe in you. And sometimes when we can have the most self-belief in our life, but during those really dark times, you forget about your self-belief. And sometimes you need a friend to say, I had a couple of friends tell me at my real low points, they say, I believe in you. You're gonna. It's only a matter of time till you're back on your feet and you're so successful. And sometimes hearing that from a good friend is a reminder. Yes, I can do it. But also, you mentioned reading. I've been a huge reader my whole life, and there's been periods where, for whatever reason, I get really busy, and reading is a habit that just there's not enough time in the day, and I don't read for a period. And actually, when I started in real estate, I was so busy building a new business and learning everything I could about real estate. I kind of forgot that habit of reading. And I realized that I read for two reasons. One, for inspiration, and I love reading great biographies and business books and self-help books. But the second reason is I actually enjoy reading because it's me time. Just like exercise is me time. It's time where it's just me and a book, and I'm not thinking about other things. I'm not doing things for other people. I'm really focusing on me. And I realized that even if I got nothing useful from reading, I still have to make it a habit because it enriches my soul and it makes me happy. So that's the first thing. But I love reading about, great people in history. There's a wonderful book about the Nazis invading London in the Battle of Britain, and when Churchill came to power and he helped the British people get through this. They were hiding in the underground bridges when they were getting bombed, and it was a very traumatic time. I think it's called The Splendid and the Vile, but it's a wonderful book. It talks about that period, just that from maybe 1939 to 1942.
Mhm.
And reading it, you just hear, Churchill and how inspiring he was and how they overcame this. And they were down to the last few fighter pilots. They literally were down to like 40, 50 fighter pilots. They had no one that could fly the planes. And then they managed to turn the tide of the war. That's a book that comes to mind. But there's so many books like that where there's all this inspiration. It costs you $15 on Amazon. And you can buy this book and you might get 5 hours of like inspiration from reading this and happiness. So it's like, but it's all out there. We just have to make the effort to get it and to spend the time to read it. And I mean, look, it's off right now because we're recording a podcast, but these things are so bad for our mind. There's so much distraction out
Absolutely.
there. You have
Absolutely.
to be, and I'm a very disciplined person and I still struggle with it. So we have to be mindful of technology, and we have to be mindful of whether we're taking all this incoming stuff from where we're reacting to emails and to phone calls and problems at work, or whether we're taking time for ourselves to be enriched by wonderful podcasts like this. Conversation is going to enrich me, Harry. Like I'm feeling enriched from your positivity and your story and how you overcame challenges. That gives me strength. Or whether it's reading a great book, or whether it's listening to, I love listening to, I think it's called the Mulligan Brothers. They have these things on YouTube where they have these really inspirational stories and clips, and these motivational speakers like Les Brown. I love Les Brown. He has these wonderful
Ah,
20 and
wow.
30-minute videos where he talks about all the hardships and how he had so many ups and downs in life, and he kept crashing down, and then he would rebuild himself and crash down again. And I listen to that sometimes when I'm doing work. I just have it on in the background, and I feel like it's just giving me energy. It's giving me inspiration. It's giving me positivity. So I think we have to find what works for us. And the last thing I'll say on this is we have to be that for other people. So I hopefully we have a friendship now. And if you go through some trouble, say in a year, you can call me and we can
Thank
talk. And
you.
I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be there for you because we have to be there for each other. We're entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
It's a
Thank you so much.
crazy life. Yeah, we have to support each other. So I think that's important too.
Yeah. And then Lawrence, I'm glad that you talk about Les Brown. We are organizing an online event with Les. I be
Wow.
speaking there. Yeah, in the next month it's gonna be online, and then in next year we're gonna bring him back to London. I did the opening
Wow.
for Les Brown when he arrived to London in 2018, I think 2019. The promoter
Wow,
came to
that's
me and told me,
incredible.
Harry, listen, it was people in the backstage that they worth 400 million, a lot of wealthy people there. And the promoter came to me and told me, Harry, look, I need you to do the opening for Les Brown. That means I want that you talk first, lift this audience up,
Yes.
and then bring Les. And I'm thinking, why this woman choosing me? And after the years, I asked her, her name is Atia. I said, Atia, why do you choose me? People they're more wealthy than me. Why do you put me before Les? And he told me, Harry, because I know you were ready, and I know that you're gonna lift this audience up in a way that I need it, because I cannot have an audience down and bring less.
Yes.
And this is something that I saw you speak before, and so I was very, very happy. If you see Les Brown backstage, you think that he's worried about what he's gonna say about his speech. No, he's chatting around in the green room, taking pictures with us, and he has two people there that will tell him, "Come on, you go." It was 1,300 people there, 2 floors, and I'm like, because I was before him, and even when you finish speak, then the other speaker goes after, and then the photo with Les in that event is actually my website. And I finished my speech and coming back, of course, Les they're about to introduce him to bring him. And I'm there, and I said, "Look, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Can we take a picture?" And he said, "Yeah, let's take a picture." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, this guy is already about to jump into 1,300 people."
And he's just relaxed.
The
That's
least that he
amazing.
can tell me, "Look, man, I'm gonna do my speech now. Can you leave me in peace?" And no, man, that's the way. He's so ready. You
Wow,
won't
that's
believe it's
amazing.
so ready. It's like walking. Eventually he took more than one with me, with my girlfriend. Write stuff. We talk. And I remember we were talking, and then the guy said, "Okay, come on, you go." And they said, "Okay, bye." Phew. An amazing speech. That is one of the most unique speech of Les Brown, because he had cancer back then, and
Yes.
he was in pain. And it was one of the most moving speeches of all times. It's a material that it hasn't been released yet. I mean, the event
Wow.
happened, the talk happened,
Yes.
but the recordings, we have it today with the promoter, because that is a close friend, and our team, when we have time, we will release. We will release that, which is an amazing speech. As soon as we release it, I'll make sure that we send it to you. Very, very
Oh
powerful.
my God.
Anyway,
Thank you. That's amazing, Harry. I love that.
Anyway, yeah, we have one of the most powerful speech of all times of Les Brown in our databases that haven't been released. Is when he came to London. He was in pain. He did the speech literally in pain, and it was so emotional. It was so amazing. Yeah. So, but coming back for what you were sharing, the sometimes the worst day of your life become the best day of your life. And when I'm looking back, I think that everything that I got of this, the most that I got about all these failures and negative situation, was that when I had to reinvent myself and I had to move forward, I got clarity in what I didn't want, you know. And
Yes.
maybe after you lost all this money when you were young, you said, "You know what? I don't want this anymore. I want to have a family. I want to have a stable business. I don't want any external thing comes and crash my thing. So you know what? I'm starting from zero. I'm going to real estate. I'm going to have different strategy, and I'm going to diversify. And then something has happened. Then now you are again what you don't want. Okay, I don't want somebody that screw me over, and I don't want X, Y, and Z. So yeah, happened to me as well. I realized out of that failure, I didn't even really know in clarity what I really want. Yeah, that one of the things have been this amazing workshop that we develop speakers and leaders. We train entrepreneurs to grow their business and so on from the stage. But I knew that I didn't want to have my life in a position again that I don't have time to see my family, that I don't have time to see my friends, that to go through this pain. So now, every time that I go to a new business, I look into very, very carefully before I jump in. This podcast, for example, I'm loving it because I meet amazing people like you, and I love it. You're talking about passion and everything. So, like, it gave me a lot of I'm doing it for me, not for you guys, because
Yes.
I meet amazing people and the energy. And after I finish, I go to speak with Lily. I said, "You're not gonna believe this guy. Lawrence, what happened to him? He lost million. He come back in the, you know what I mean?" So it's a big source of inspiration for me, particular, but also for our audience. I think that we're speaking the truth. We're speaking from the heart. This is no BS. We can spend the hour teaching people how to become wealthy, teaching people how to make money in real estate, how to become a multimillionaire. But I think that the thought that we have today is even more valuable than that.
Yes. And Harry, I
Because
think, yeah, on that point, because you can talk about technical aspects of success, or you can talk about the habits of that will lead to success. But the habits, the good habits, if you do them every day, they're not just going to lead to success, but they're going to lead to happiness too. And I think that's so important, because too many people think, if I get this success, then I'll be happy. And I've come to the realization that I choose to be happy, and I'm going to do things that will lead to me getting success. But the success is not what I need for my happiness. The happiness is that I get to talk to you, that I get to do these wonderful things. I'm around good energy. I get to strive. And even if I fail, at least I'm, Teddy Roosevelt had a wonderful quote, wonderful speech about being the man in the arena. And even if I fail, I'm still in the arena. I'm trying. I'm not doing a job I hate for a boss I don't like. I'm in the arena, struggling and striving. And at the worst case scenario, I fail, but at least I'm trying. But the best case scenario is, you have wonderful success and you're your own person. So I think any entrepreneur listening, it's a tough time. It's a tough life in some aspects, but it's a very blessed life, and we should definitely be blessed to have the opportunities that we have. You're in England, I'm in the US. We're in two of the countries with the greatest opportunity out there, and I think we should be very grateful for that. And those little subtle mind shift changes, I think that really makes the difference to having a good
Absolutely.
life and having a bad life. It's not about absolute success. If you can afford a Starbucks coffee in the US, you're in the top 1% of global income. A
And you
lot of
should be
people,
grateful for that.
yes, a billion people live on under $1 a day. So it's these little things, just changing your mindset, I think is so important. And
And then
one,
the the other thing I want to touch base in something that you say very important, because when I started, you're so dreaming, I want to make a million, I want to make a million, I want to make a million. Guess what happened? I made the million, and after 2 days, I'm like, what's the big fuss about? It didn't give me anything. Nothing. It didn't make me
yeah,
happy. It didn't make me, I was thinking after women. I think sometimes I don't think I even realized, I was thinking that was the accountant or somebody. That's how I find out. And I didn't make anything. It didn't give me any fulfillment, and I thought it was gonna give me. Give me however, let me tell you what make me very, very happy. Sometimes in London, that you have meeting in the morning, you have to take the train. It's not like US. You guys drive over there. Even over there, so if you want to arrive to a meeting in central London, you have to take the tube.
yes,
And eventually I had to take the metro. And I dress so colorful like that everywhere, even in the speech. And sometimes I'm in the metro and the people say, Harry, is that you, man? As you, I saw you this last brown man. Thank you so much. Look, this is a photo of my family, my children. I did what you said. I did what you said, and I'm being my business. I'm very wetty. Look, let's take a picture. I'm a little bit embarrassed in front of the other people. So what's going on with this guy? And the guy is so fired up. But after I arrive home, I'm thinking like, wow, this is unbelievable that I say something that I don't even remember. And if the guy don't describe me properly, I don't even know which speech he's talking about because there's so many. But I say something in a way that resonates with him, and he make a change in whatever he was doing and make a massive impact for his life. That makes me happy more than the million.
yes.
You get paid in another currency. It's a currency better than money. You get paid in love, in appreciation. I don't know how to explain to you. Become very actually addictive, and I think that's at the end of the day, in my opinion, money is not gonna give you fulfillment. I think that fulfillment comes for exactly what you're doing today. Giving your information, giving your experience, and somebody, somewhere could be even below this $1 will be listening this, and
Yes.
maybe that what we talk about, it can be a source of inspiration and can make a massive difference in their life, and maybe we will never know this person.
Yes.
Maybe we will
Harry,
never
that's so
even
beautiful.
knew this person, but it's that energy that we put in something out there to help other people, and it give us, that fulfillment that is so important to be happy, right?
Harry, that's so true. So when I was young, I was a very scientific person. Like if it's got to be rational and proven, and I'd hear people talk about energy, and I think that's all woo-woo nonsense. And I realized that that's so not true. So I'll give it an example. I heard this wonderful entrepreneur who said, "When I get a business opportunity, I don't think, is it going to make money? The first thing I think about is, do I want to see my partner's name pop up on my phone at 9:30 on a Thursday night when I'm tired and we have to troubleshoot problems? Or do I want to have dinner with him and his family, with my family, and we can socialize? Do I want to be around his energy?" And he said, if the answer is yes, then I will most likely do the business because I want to be around him, even if I'm not sure about the profitability. He said, if the answer is no, I don't care how much money I'll make from the business, I won't do
Absolutely.
it. And and I realized with the partner that screwed me over, he had everything right on paper. And I thought it was a really good partner to go. But there was something about him, Harry. I didn't like his energy. I've only been talking to you for an hour and I really like your energy. I really do. You
Thank
have so
you.
much charisma and you have so
Thank
much
you, sir.
positivity. And thank you, brother. And this guy, there was something about him where it was like I just wanted, as soon as we finished anything, I just wanted to get the hell away from him. And I only realized it after. And I'm like, that's my subconscious telling me his energy is not good energy. So I believe in energy so much. And I love what you said
Absolutely.
about people coming up to you. So when you do things and you put good energy out, it's like you're dropping a pebble in a lake. But that pebble just falls in that bit of water, but the ripples go all out throughout the lake. And I think about that. I think about we don't know, like one conversation can really change someone's life. And I know if I look back at my life, there's a couple of chance meetings with people that changed my life. And if I hadn't reached out to to the girl that's now my wife, I wouldn't have my son and my family. Like it's
Absolutely.
these tiny little things that we look back and they change everything in life. So I think I love the fact you said that about energy, and I think we should try to look out for energy that enriches us, and we should try to be that person. Like even it's hard sometimes, but try to be positive to your friends, try to be nurturing, inspiring. And like you said, I got a lovely message yesterday. I teach jujitsu, and one of my students reached out to me and he said he was saying about how much I inspire him, and he's sorry he was
Wow.
tired yesterday when I was teaching and he wasn't himself. And I was like, it was such a beautiful message. It gave me so much inspiration. And you don't even think about things like that, but you get those messages, or like you said, you meet these people that
It's
thank
very
you. And
fulfilling, right?
exactly. And like you said, when all said and done, at the end of our life, does it make a huge difference how many zeros are in a bank account? Or
Absolutely.
how,
How much money
yeah,
you need,
exactly.
what is this
Or
craziness?
exactly. Or I think what I want at the end of my life is as much lovely memories of being around good people and doing wonderful things. Like your Les Brown story was so beautiful. I love that. He's what a professional. Like he's just positive and he's giving love and
Oh,
energy right before
thank
he walks out. Most people will be nervous and shut off and focused, and he's just giving love, and that's what I
I
want to be,
couldn't
Harry. I
believe.
want to yeah, I want to be like that, you know.
But then, the thing also is like, look, Lawrence, this is what I realized after all my failures. You asked me a very good question, like, do you learn something about all of your failures? This is one of the biggest lessons I get out of all my failures, is that somehow I'm always come back. More money, less money, I'm always coming back in a different form, in a more
Mm,
advanced or or different way, right? But also, when out of those failures, right, the biggest lessons that you might have is that I talk a lot about your millionaire lifestyle, which have nothing to do with how much money you have in bank account. What is
mm,
priceless? For me, it's priceless. Number one, what we're doing today. I don't talk to people that I don't like. I don't do business with people that I don't like. I don't. My life is all around everybody that I talk, everybody that I do business, everybody I do anything is people that I like, that I love. That I'm in the position myself that I can choose that. I also choose my time. My phone is always in silent. This is
mm.
coming from backstage with my real estate. And everybody who knows me, they know that. Some of them get angry. Harry, you take the phone. And I said, I don't take a phone call from anybody, right? From anybody. My phone is always in silent. Yeah. If you really want to talk to me, it's urgent for you, it's not urgent for me. Because when I had the real estate business, all my clients want to speak with me, and I'm thinking, if all these people talk to me, they're gonna kill me. There's so many,
Yes.
I won't
Yeah.
be able to sleep, to do anything. They all want to speak because they want to pay less rent, they want to leave early, they want to do this. All of them, to the point that I had to employ someone just to say, listen, you are Harry, yeah. Whenever everyone wants to speak with me, will speak with you. That's your job. And I kept my phone in silent, and have been in silent honestly for the last 17 years. Do you
Wow.
understand? I
Yes.
do I talk on the phone with person? Yes, you tell me, Lawrence, I want to speak with you. Amazing. I text you, okay, what day is the best for you? What day? And then I'm prepared for the call. And then
Yes.
take the call. But otherwise, especially real estate, you know how it is, gazillion phone call, mantina, and but it was driving me crazy. It was like I said, every failure you decide what you don't want. So the first thing I didn't want, I didn't want to have gazillion phone call in my life. I got traumatized.
Yes.
And then I took this step, and this step, very simple, but had given me a lot of peace in my life. It gave me a lot of calm. So it's that little failure that actually reshape you. So thank you so much, Lawrence, for one more thing. If people want to invest in your real estate project, or they resonate with what you talk, and they want to know more about you, how people can find you and how this process work?
Well, Harry, thank you. Really quickly on what you just said, that was beautiful because you're guarding your energy. And for you to be your best self, you can't be reacting to 100 phone calls. You have to guard your energy, and then you can give a better service to people. So I'm really glad you said that, and something that I'm trying to do too. I'm pretty easy to find. Lawrence Dunning on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find. And yeah, if you want to invest, I've always got new developments starting, and we always take outside investors. And yeah, I really appreciate your time. You've inspired me, Harry. You've given me, I have twice as much energy when we finish this call than I had before. So I'm so glad we met. And I think we're very similar in our mindset, and your story, we've had ups and downs, but we're still smiling today. And I think that's the most important thing. And anyone listening that's going through a down maybe in their life, just keep moving forward one step at a time, one day at a time. Keep looking after yourself, guard your mindset, be around good people, and you will come through the other side, and you'll be smiling like us. So I think that's such a beautiful message to end with.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, for your time. I really appreciate. And for all of you listening to this podcast, I suggest you to listen twice. Yeah. Because the concept that we share in this broadcast today might sound to you very simple, but if you really listening again and you take the concept that we shared today seriously, and you really understand what we're trying to say, it's going to make a huge difference to your life as an entrepreneur, to your health, and to your happiness. So thank you so much, Lawrence, for the broadcast, and for you following this Unstoppable broadcast. See you in our next episode, how brave entrepreneurs like Lawrence break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.